Hello lovelies, it's Nick here, menopause weight loss expert, and today I'm going to be talking about too many decisions affecting your weight loss efforts. And hang around because I'm going to give you one action step that is going to make all the difference. Now, if you're here live, say hello in the chat. If you're watching the replay, put #replay, and please, I love your questions. Now, think about it. From the moment we open our eyes in the morning, we're making decisions. The first one is usually, am I going to press snooze? Am I not? What happens if I don't? And then you sit up and you see your shoes ready to slip into because you've promised yourself that you're going to start exercising. And then you have to decide, am I going to put the shoes on or not? Or am I going to go downstairs and make a coffee? Oh no, that's right. I don't want to have coffee on an empty stomach. Oh, bad luck, I'm going to go downstairs and have a cup of tea. So you go downstairs and then you start thinking about breakfast. What am I going to have for breakfast? Oh, that's right. I remember hearing that girl on, what's that chick's name? Naturally, Nick. Oh, that's right. She said something about oats. Oh, damn, I haven't bought the oats yet. Oh, I better put that on the list. And it just goes on and on and on until you come to the end of the day where you walk in the door and you're tired, you're hungry, and you haven't decided what's for dinner. And we all know that that is a recipe for disaster because it's usually a choice that is not going to nourish us and keep us on track for the health goals that we have for ourselves. It's usually the path of least resistance, which is kind of, maybe it's a, something processed and packaged out of the freezer or we order in takeaway. So it is just a roller coaster every single day. So what can we do? And the studies show that the best way to manage decision fatigue is to make decisions ahead of time. The more decisions we can make at the beginning of the day or the day before and set ourselves up for success, the easier it becomes. Now, you all know that I'm a big fan of menu planning. And I just think when you know the answer to what's for dinner every single night, it just takes out so much of the decision-making process because it's exhausting trying to decide what for dinner every single night. So, but what can that look like if you're way back here and you're not making any decisions at all at the moment and life is kind of just happening to you? And, you find yourself just, opening that fridge and staring into the abyss going, what am I going to eat? What can I have? And where I start my clients is making that decision one meal prior to the next meal. So the trick is at dinner time to be thinking, what am I going to be eating for breakfast tomorrow morning? Now, I know that some of you are thinking, well, I don't know what I'm going to be feeling like tomorrow morning, Nick. What about, roughly, most of us don't have a unique breakfast 365 days of the year. There's usually, 2 or 3 things that we have on a regular basis. So just make a choice about one of those things and decide that that's what you're going to have. Now, at the same time, you could also be packaging up your leftovers from dinner because you cooked double vegetables, didn't you? I know you did. And you could be packaging those up so that you've even got lunch as well for the next day. Because even if you get to lunch and you go, I don't feel like those, you'll probably start munching on them while you're deciding. And this is where those cut up carrot sticks always come in handy. Because while you're staring into the abyss trying to decide what to eat, you can be munching those carrots and your good gut bacteria is going to love you. And remember, carrots have an affinity for estrogen, so they're going to be taking that out of your body as well, which is great. Shelley's saying, I love to plan ahead, but my partner doesn't like to think about it. Yeah. Oh, that is so hard, Shelley, so hard. And I think that I would be quietly working in the background deciding what I wanted, because even if he decides that that's not what he wants at that particular meal, you've got something, either a frozen that you can put away and freeze as a meal for yourself, like an emergency meal when he's not around sometimes, or sometimes I bet he would just say, oh yeah, okay, let's have that. Or you've got lunch for the next day. I never feel like, meals that we make, food that we prepare in advance is ever wasted, because you can always freeze it. And, mostly, things last for a couple of days in the fridge. So that is my tip. Exactly. Shelley's saying he usually comes around to what I've prepared. Exactly. So I think the more proactive we can be in the kitchen, the better. Because at the end of the day, the only person that we can change is ourselves. And quite often, partners don't want to come on for the ride, especially if it's a healthy eating ride. But they'll often eat some of that healthy food and then add, their little bit of, what they want as well. So whether that means piling on the cheese or adding a big piece of meat, who knows? But there's always a way around. So yes, making our decisions ahead of time is the absolute key. And, I know for some of my clients, they don't eat breakfast. I want to eat breakfast, Nick. But I still encourage them to take something to work or make something in advance, so that when you do get hungry for that first time of the day, and even if that's 10 o'clock, you're still breaking your fast with something that is healthy, that is something that is going to set you, it sort of kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. Because if we, just go and grab something, it's almost like, that something that we grab in the moment isn't necessarily, like I said, going to set us up for nourishment. It's going to set us on a slippery slope. So, that path of least resistance. So wherever possible, make your meals in advance, know what you're going to have at the next meal. And then, of course, as time progresses, you might be able to create for yourself either a plan where you know what you're having every single day, like Mondays, is Mexican and this is what we eat on this day, because you've got about 3 options that you're rotating. Or for some of my clients, they just have a long list on the fridge and, these are the things that they're going to go to. So whatever works for you, where there's a will, there's a way. And I hope that helps, because making all those decisions every single day is exhausting, and setting ourselves up for success means thinking about it and planning in advance what we're going to be having. Thanks, Shelley. Love your questions and your comments, and I'll see you soon.